Welcome and thank you for joining us for another segment of What Women Bring, a Closer Look. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Nilsy Rapalo, Healthcare Honoree 2023. In this segment, we get an opportunity to learn more about the unique therapeutic techniques that she works with to treat trauma. We're going to learn about how she uses her experiences as an immigrant to create a smoother path for others, and how she empowered herself by listening to her own voice. Thank you for joining us. You're in for a treat. Welcome, Nilsy. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited to have this one-on-one conversation with you. It was an honor to honor you as our Healthcare Honoree for 2023. And this is just an opportunity for those who were in attendance, who I know didn't get nearly enough from you to be able to, spend the next few minutes or so just getting and diving deeper into who you are and how you got here.
Oh my goodness, well, it is an honor for me to represent the Hispanic community and to receive this award, honestly, in their name, because it belongs to them. And thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, let's just dive right in because you were our Healthcare Honoree. And so I want to understand, just tell me what you do, because I'm telling you, I see you everywhere. You are all over the place. You are you represent your community so well, and you're doing such great work. So tell us, the things that you do.
Yes, well, I moved from Colombia, South America, to San Francisco in 2000, and I lived there for 2 years. And then I moved to South Carolina in 2002. Since that year, I have been working for the Department of Mental Health as a mental health counselor. My background, I am a clinical psychologist, and here I got the training for EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization reprocessing. That means reprocess trauma with the movement of the eyes and tapping. I see other diagnoses different than PTSD, of course, but with that training, we have been helping a lot of patients to heal and to process trauma. And trauma can be anything that happened to us regarding being us the victim or being the witness, like domestic violence, sexual abuse, being in a hurricane, being a tornado, in an accident, car accident, airplane accident, anything that is overwhelming to us. Then my work is really every day to listen and to help people and to treat them with their condition. We are interdisciplinary group. We have psychiatrists, nurses in our facility, other counselors that help us, peer support specialists that help us to do this work. Then for me, it's an honor to be able to do this work for the last 21 years. Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that is interesting. When you talk about trauma, because I think sometimes people don't understand how vast trauma is. And I love that you identified not just the victim, sometimes the witness of trauma. And I know you know all about ACE scores and adverse childhood experiences. It's just things that you've seen, even if it was or heard or
exposed.
It definitely. And I think if we all think about it, we've all had some sort of trauma. And I know just through my own work in therapy for myself that sometimes things that I was like, no, well, that wasn't a problem. That was them. That wasn't me. Yeah. But because I was a part of that family, it still was trauma.
Yes, and it is important for our community to recognize the signs, like when you are having nightmares, when you are having difficulties to function, when you are having difficulties to deal with other people. That can be signs that you have difficulties to engage and to process things or reactions that in some way affect your day-to-day.
Do you, how does your work look with Black and Brown communities? Because I know that we know that there's this stigma around getting help in our communities. But as I said, you represent your community so well. How do you ensure that Black and Brown folks are getting treatment?
Well, it is a challenge. It is a challenge because trust issues are there. We don't have psychiatrists that represent them. And that's a challenge. We just have one psychiatry who is from South America, and other than that, we have only white physicians. Then it is a challenge, just that part, but also because the belief that we have in the community, you don't talk about what happened, we keep the family secrets, and all that cultural issue that in some point we need to provide psychoeducation and to be able to reach the point that they can trust you and they can open, then takes time. Then a lot of patience, a lot of love, a lot of empathy and understanding for the community, and always learning. You know, like people can be in Dorchester County, but it's not the same to be from Somerville than to be from St. George, you know, or Dorchester. Then understanding all the differences and honoring that at the time for treatment. Yes.
Yeah, I definitely find Charleston, this region, the bridges or the geography separates us, not just, it's mentally and literally.
Yes.
That people just once you cross the bridge, you're in a different community.
You are.
And that community is held steadfast to their culture, their beliefs. So getting into all the different tri-counties can be challenging.
Tradition, religion, practices, relationship with providers is everything. You know, it is everything that we need to keep in mind at the time to treat a patient. It's not just medicine diagnosis. No, we have a human being with a set of beliefs, with a family, with thinking patterns and conditions that we need to honor and be aware.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's important that we encourage more people of color to get into this field, because when your provider looks like you, comes from where you come from, your treatment outcomes are just going to be so much better.
Yes, and I really connect with the African American community, and I have a silly story
Please tell
about
me.
my gap here. The camera can capture my gap. I was in San Francisco, and when I was in Colombia, I did a movie. I auditioned for a movie. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know. And then when during the audition, you know, I got the role and everything. I was doing my master. I was in college doing that, and I got the role. I did the movie and everything. And the director was like, "You learned your script. You will get a close up in the movie." And you know, I'm nerdy, learning the script, and I did and everything. And at the end, when the movie was there, I didn't get the close up.
Oh.
And I asked the director, you know, why I didn't get it? I never made a mistake during the recording and everything. And he said, Nilsy, the gap that you have is too big for the movie theater.
What?
Yes, I left Colombia. I got that idea that something was wrong with my gap. Imagine that. Then I went to San Francisco and I told the dentist, a white dentist, by the way, I want you to fix that problem. And he said, I am not doing that. He said, no, that's part of you, and it's sexy, and it's beautiful, and it's great. Since that day, I felt like, oh my God, my gap is amazing. I don't care about that, you know, about that close-up. Then I come to South Carolina, which from San Francisco to South Carolina, different communities again, different accents, relearning who is America, what is America, who are American, you know, everything, the accent and everything. And then I start finding my African American friends with the gap. I am like, girls, we are family. We just reconnect. Then just something like that. Yeah. Imagine to be able to say this is wrong. And then I start reading about it. And it's like sign of power in some tribe in Africa. I was like, that's it, girl. I love my gap. I'm keeping it. I don't care about the camera. Don't do the close-up on this one. I don't care. I'm happy.
I love it.
Just that, you know, like to be able to embrace what who you are, and it's not wrong. Even, you know, in the past, you know, some traits from some races were not honoring. We didn't honor that, or we didn't agree with that. Well, now I'm here and in South Carolina, and my African roots are here connected with the culture of South Carolina.
I love it.
Because I'm from the Caribbean coast.
Yes.
And we have some of the same groups from Africa that came to South Carolina, were to the Colombian, to the Caribbean, to the Caribbean coast in South America.
Wow.
If you see the trips and the chips, you will see that some of them were in Cartagena, Colombia, and some of them came to Charleston. Then we have a lot of connection, and I have been, connecting with that. Then I always try to, identify what makes us human, what help us to connect. Doesn't matter the culture, because sometimes I have people that they speak Mandarin and they still give it to me. Nilsy, he's an immigrant, he speaks Mandarin. I am like, I still need to use an interpreter. If you need to use it, I need to use it because I don't speak Mandarin. But doesn't matter the culture, we need to unify and to be able to say, treatment is important, we need to connect. Tell me how I can help you. What do you need to know? What are your traditions? What are your fears? What are your beliefs? And from that, we can help them. Because at the end, something like EMDR, CBT, this is our treatments that are based on research, but we need to help the community to learn to understand that. Because it sounds weird, like, are you telling me that I need to move my eyes to pre-process trauma, or that you are doing tapping on my shoulder? Like, what's wrong? What's weird? Then it always psychoeducation and helping the community, and for us providers, just to be aware of their cultural issues.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's wonderful. And I was going to ask you, like, why are you so social? Because you are, like, everybody knows you, you're all over the place, but you just said it, like, you love connecting, and you go, all over, and you can find that common ground, it sounds like, with anybody.
It is a challenge. It is a challenge, but I do it, and I face my own fears and my own challenges with my accent, with my look. I do. When I start working on my book in 2010, trying to find writing retreats on my tribe and the writers, and I started the Sophia Institute.
Yeah.
At that time, now it's more diverse, but at that time, Sophia Institute was more for white ladies, and that's how it was. Nothing wrong, nothing good, that's what it was. And I went there, and I say, I need to do this, and I did retreats with them, and, still I do programs with them. And then, YWCA is an organization promoting for minorities. I will be there supporting you. Then I really believe that if we connect and if we are part of the human race, then we can connect by love.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Connect by love.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So, are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Extrovert.
Okay, because some people think I'm an extrovert. I'm really an introvert,
okay.
But I can be extrovertive.
Okay.
So
okay,
I can do the
see.
thing.
Yeah.
But I'm more so of an introvert. But I wanted to. You definitely give extrovert vibes all day. So, and we love it because it does. You are connecting. And I know at the event you even talked about being a connector and making connections and just, being social. And you called yourself an immigrant. And so that had to be difficult. I've traveled to places where I don't speak the language, and it can be a little scary because I'm thinking, I want to make sure I'm saying this right. I don't want to offend. I also want to make sure I get what I need. And so I'm only there for 4 days, but you are here in this country as an immigrant. How scary was that?
It was. Have been 23 years since I have been here, and it's every day is a learning moment. Is trying to understand the culture. When I was in California, people discouraged me to move to South Carolina. They say, Nilsy, you don't know what you are doing. It's a different state. They are not offering programs for Hispanic like we are in San Francisco, where every corner they have everything for Hispanics. And again, it was a challenge at that time, and it still is a challenge because after 21 years at Dorchester County, still I am the only therapist who speaks Spanish. Then it is,
Wow.
Exactly. Then I try to, promote diversity. I try to encourage other professionals in the health field. I try to connect in the business community also. Then it is a challenge when you are an immigrant because you are trying to make things happen. And sometimes takes time in any culture, in any country. But when you are an immigrant, it's even like a pro level that you need to, face other barriers like the language or not knowing the resources that are around you that can help you. And that was one of my motivation when we were creating the Hispanic Business Association in 2014, and I talked to my beautiful Diana Sajan and Pedro de Armas, Lisa de Armas, when we were thinking about this idea of creating the Hispanic Business Association, because we say, immigrants, they don't need to suffer and pass what we did when we were trying to open a business. We can help them to create, then be a trailblazer. It is a big responsibility. It is an honor, but it is, a challenge that you face every day. Then being an immigrant is not just about you, it's about a community that you want them to have new opportunities and better options that you had when you moved, when you were here. Then that's a big commitment.
That is a commitment. And you're in essence paying it forward, like you're trying to create a pathway that wasn't there for you.
Yes, it wasn't.
And I know you work with entrepreneurship program as well through Low Country Local First. Is that right?
Yes, that was when Jamie called us to create that program or to be part of that program was a big yes to the Hispanic community. And now Charleston Southern University is having the e-commerce class. Is another big yes to the community having in Spanish. Then it's just creating things that they are in place now in the community and they are moving forward and they are helping the community. Then it's connecting with other people also to create more opportunities.
Absolutely. I love that. And I think that the more we can accommodate for diverse communities, we're just richer for it. We're just a richer community, and we can only keep people here if we can make those types of accommodations and help them build their businesses so that everyone has businesses they can go to that speak to their needs and their culture.
And that's part of the American spirit.
Absolutely. It's that, to me, is when we talk about the American dream, that's where it is. Yes. So let's switch gears to talk about personal, because I met someone at our reception and he was so proud of you. And that's your husband. Yes. So tell me about your family.
Well,
when you're not roaming around making paths for the Hispanic community, what are you doing?
Oh my goodness, we are busy. We are always trying to support, our friends and our community, and trying to be part of different organizations that we can support. He has a lot of patience with me, because he understands what I do. He respects the time that I invest in the community, and sometimes my family needs to wait, like, what time is she coming? We are leaving, and I am like, hold on, I'm almost there. Then I really appreciate that support and that care, and is priceless for me.
I think that when you're out there, in the trenches or, doing the work that you do, that it's important to know when you come home that you have that support, that you can be a safe space. Absolutely. So one thing that you talked really passionately about, and I loved your whole answer, you talked about the wage gap, and you gave data. You gave stats. And we talk about it because, of course, with our mission of eliminating racism and empowering women, the wage gap is huge. And, when you talk about women of color, Latinx women, indigenous women, you are, the dollar doesn't translate to our pay.
It doesn't.
And so tell me how you're sort of, I know you're like telling people to support, equal pay day and all of that, but so how are you working towards trying to even that playing field?
It is a day by day, moment, and always when we have women retreats or women's meeting or any opportunity, I always try to bring that because my community is not aware of that. Then I try to provide education, and at the end it's like how you can change that, how you can be part of the change and not just be part of the problem or criticizing, just to find solutions. And I really promote with my entrepreneur students that to be able to say, be fair when you are hiring someone, try to honor that, don't discourage people or don't, say you cannot afford that. It's better to say less hours but fair pay than a lot of hours with, just that type of balance and make my students, because they are business owners and they are, I have a case that she now have like at least 10 employees on her landscaping business. Then try to honor that, try to always recognize what they are needing, but also what are their expectations. And sometimes we need to help people to raise the bar. And we are sometimes giving a lot of our work for free and being able to say, no, I will pay you, I will pay you. Your time, your knowledge is important, and we need to empower in that way that people can recognize their talents and then they can be more comfortable embracing that.
Yeah, embracing being paid for what you're worth.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm going to ask you a couple of just personal questions, silly things, just to see.
Okay, silly things.
Silly
Thank
things.
you for silly.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sunset. Don't wake me up before the sun.
I wake up early.
Heels or sneakers?
Sneakers.
What's your guilty pleasure? What do you do that like maybe not everyone would suspect that's what Nilsy does when no one's looking?
What a great question. Well, let me tell you, I really love to read, okay? But when I'm driving, I listen to audiobooks all the time.
Really?
Yes, like now more than ever because time, but I really enjoy that because it's like my moment. And I used to use that time to talk over the phone with my father and with my brother in my country, and both of them are gone.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
I know. Then thank you. Then it was like the time to connect with them when I was, like between places.
Yes.
My transitioning moment. Then now it's more like my audiobook. Like this is the moment for me because at work is for the patients, at home is for my family, at school is for my students. But that's my moment. Then it's like, okay, I am an audiobook.
Oh, I love
Nerdy.
it. So you like to read, but you also listen to your books
Yes,
too. That's cool.
I do both.
Tell me about a moment when you felt most powerful.
Oh my goodness, what a great question. Back to that movie I was telling you.
Yes.
I was 25 at that time. And the audition was for a role for a 15-year-old girl.
Wow.
Yes. And I had the audacity to do it. But not just because I looked younger, but also because after 7 years of being in college, I decided to honor something that I really wanted to do it, and it's to be an actress.
Yeah.
I was in theater my entire middle school and high school, and during college, I had a boyfriend that I statement girls, I allow him to control me. Then I didn't take any drama classes, I didn't do anything fun, I was just focusing on my college education because I allowed him to control me.
Yes.
Then when the relationship was over and I saw that audition, I said, I want to do this. I don't care that I don't have the education, the experience to do the role, I don't have even the age to do the role, but I will do it because I am offering myself that opportunity. Besides the outcome, I don't know what will happen, I don't know what will be the end of the story, but I will do it just because this is something that I want to honor about myself, something that I enjoy. And I enjoy my career, don't get me wrong, but I love to act, and I love cameras, I love lights, I love to speak. I am, that will be my next chapter.
Yes.
But that day was for me like, I will do it. And then when I was doing the audition with this girl, like, I have been on the Pepsi commercial. I have been doing this movie. I was like, and then was my time for the audition. The director was like, what's your name? I'm Nilsy, and he's seen my resume. I'm like, are you a psychologist? Yes, I am a psychologist. Like, why are you here? Because I want to audition for the role. Okay, give her the script next. And they gave me the script, and I prepared myself. I memorized, and I did it, and I got it. You know, and I was happy with the role. Yeah. You know, was a teenager, was a funny movie, was something great, was a great experience. I enjoyed it, it was fun. But because I was honoring my voice, then that's a moment where I feel empowered. And every single time after that I honor my voice, I feel empowered. And that's why I honor people's voices and dreams and desires, because they need to be able to honor who they are.
Wow. I heard that a lot during the event, different women talking about listening to that voice.
Yes.
And that is where your empowerment comes from.
Yes.
Empowered women, and you empowered us that day for sure. And I thank you. So how can people find you on social media if they're looking for the Hispanic Business Alliance, or if they're looking for entrepreneurship opportunities, or they just want to follow Nilsy because Nilsy's so much fun?
Well, Hispanic Business Association, you can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, of course, Nilsy Rapalo. You can follow me on my social media. But the most important part is that if you have a project and you think that you want to involve the Hispanic community, or I can part of that voice, please let me know. I always, available and ready to connect.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I absolutely will. Well, I thank you. This has been so much fun. I knew it would be.
I enjoy it. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.